And here we are again. This is Toni Weel and Sarah from Virtuous Unicorns with our episode 34, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I announced it today as having just a chat about life's truths. Because I think with the health Q&A, it seems people know it all anyway.
Everybody's very healthy.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. It's absolutely a good thing. I just told Sarah I was very unprepared today. I had my website crashed, and that is never a good thing. And I have to jump to a ton of hoops to get it all working again. It's like, I don't need that now. Today, my phone or my internet worked. Yesterday, it didn't. So I was ahead of days. I got that fixed yesterday. And now my website crashed. I guess it just has to be that way.
It does. Sometimes you just got to wonder, like, is it the universe telling you to pause for a minute or something, or take a step back? You just never know.
Very true, but I feel that I have paused way more than I should in the last few months. So it is like, get your ass in gear and get working.
Yeah, that's for sure. I know sometimes I just sit back, and if something's not panning out for me, I'm like, is this really, am I supposed to be doing this, or is it my time to be doing it? And then you got to kind of like take a step back. But it does feel that way, like, especially like you're like, I've been kind of lazy a little bit on this, so I really need to get in it, but then it feels like it's still just not falling together. And that's where I always keep questioning things.
True. And I found that when I take a step back, I see more.
That's
That
very
makes
true.
sense.
Yep. Very true. Sometimes we can't see the whole picture, and especially when you're in it, you need somebody that can see it from far away.
Yeah, very true. So, hi, Dave. You wonder what kind of questions did we? I had a few questions. One was about frequent urination. It's a good topic to start with.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the kidneys, and it's all about the acidity in the body. And when you and I do have that too, sometimes I have to get up at night 2 times, especially when I spent my day drinking watermelon. But then you realize that you're still dehydrated, so you're still acidic. You still have to work on that. And that was an easy answer, actually, to a question that worries people. Because if you have to go like every hour, that is worrisome. So it is like you just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually, your body starts healing. And we want it, sometimes it's like, my gosh, I have been on this now for so long and it's not happening. And that is where I always say, when you start this process of detoxing and healing, because that is what this podcast is about. How do we heal, and what comes across our on our path, in what problems do we have. It is it's always give it time, and write things down so that you remember, oh my gosh, when I started half a year or a year ago, I had this and I had that and I had that. I don't have that anymore, but I still have this. Well, okay, give it time. It's not you who decides what is being healed first, because I have a few things that I am like, well, that can go now. I don't, not that I ever needed it, but I definitely don't need it anymore. But it just follows a certain way and a certain speed of healing. It's and I have like, it is what it is. If it takes long, then it takes long. It doesn't mean that now you have to look at other things. Now, I do have to say, it's very sweet client of mine has quite often setbacks. And and I noticed that with myself. It's because I have my setbacks, I have my struggles. And it is also mentally, your worries. And I know we talked about that before, but then I do that too. I start digging in. It's like, okay, what does that mean? And what does this mean? And sometimes it's like you just have to let go, and you have to trust in the what's the word for it? Just in the, it's not trust in the plan, in a way it is, but trust.
Process.
Yeah, trust. That is what I was looking for. Such a simple word. Trust the process. And what is your experience with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm even kind of going through it right now. We were heavily clean, or like I said last podcast, like I had bread and rice, and I couldn't believe how much it really affected me. And then just yesterday, we were really heavily cleaning the barn, and I cannot believe how much that affected me either. It's like I wasn't sneezing, coughing, or anything like that, but I have a lot of pressure in the side of my face, kind of coming down my neck and into my shoulder today. And it feels like sinus. And so just even that, like just even showing that I feel like I've been on this journey for a while, but yet it's still not gone. And this is something that has plagued me for basically my whole entire life. Like I've always had clicking in my ears. I've always had like that fluid. I used to take a lot of Sudafed, things like that. So it is just even showing like, it's a process. You just got to continue to trust it. And I always sit there and think to myself, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to go back? Like, do you just stop, or what do you do? And it's like, no, you just keep going, and you think like, well, maybe this is it just kind of coming out or something like that. But I just keep trusting the plan and trusting the process that this is my body, and my body's the only thing that can make me well anyway. So I just need to keep my body in the most tip-top shape that I can at what I have available to me and where I am in my process right now.
Absolutely. And it is, I do hear people too about there is no good fruit. You know, the berries taste, they feel like they're not ripe, and there is not enough fruit available. And it's true. I mean, I too feel that the quality of fruit is not what it used to be. And that is kind of saddening, but it is like you do with what you can have without worrying about it. Without, this is available for you, and it is better than what is this called, these meatless burgers or beans or other cooked foods. And so, yes, I mean, if fruit is the number one, and then you're not too great quality fruit is number two, and way down the line at number 10 you have your cooked foods. I mean, what do? You go for the less quality fruits. You wash it well. I've been nibbling on cherries yesterday the whole evening, and I was like, well, the ones I had last week were actually taste better. And yes, they did. And these were kind of stuck on the seed, in the pit, whatever you call it here. And I could still taste they were cherries, but they were not that great. But should I then stop eating? And but what are you going to eat then? You're going
Right.
over the fast. You do. If you can't get the best, you get the second best.
Absolutely. That's why if you can't get organic, you just get non-organic and then you wash them. And the other thing is too, well, there's a couple of things, is that we eat to live, not live to eat. So even if it's not like the greatest thing, you're basically eating just to sustain you at that time and to keep your body hydrated and whatnot. And I'm a firm believer that the fruit is what hydrates us, and the water is what pushes our toxins out of us. And then the other thing is, God knows what we have available to us. He knows everything that has happened to us and what we've been lied about. So if you're just choosing the best that there is available to you, it's all you can do. Like Toni said, wash it and then ask God to empower it with his being and to help you become closer to him by eating this. And that's the best we can do right now. That's all we can do.
Yeah, and leave your worries behind.
Absolutely.
That is, where we say trust in the process, and it's this is what is available for you. It's not that there is nothing available. This is what is available.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Like Dave said too, always bless your fruits gratefully and be grateful that we even have it available to us in the first place.
Yeah, that's very important. I mean, being grateful is such a big part of your happiness.
It is. It really is. And when you look at it, I mean, where I am in my life, and I see other children that are not so fortunate health-wise, and it just, it saddens me. And I always hope that they have the best parents that they can. And, then it makes me more even blessed to have what I do have as well. So, gratitude, I mean, is one of the greatest things that we can have. And that is a gift that we can be grateful for, that kinds of things, all kinds of things, actually.
I feel that with being grateful comes happiness.
Oh, for sure.
You feel good when you have that feeling of grateful. I can sit here and look around, and I'm grateful for everything I have, all the fruit in my fridge right now. Kiwis are actually my favorite.
Well, I have not had a good kiwi, I can tell you that much. They all burn my mouth, or my tongue, I should say.
There is one, and of course now I forgot the name of it, and I know, you probably don't have Publix there, but what are they called? Sesame, and they are yellow kiwis, and not even organic, and they were delicious. So you can only get them a short time, but they are definitely well worth it. I was just trying to look them up. It's like, they called Sesame golden kiwis.
I will have to look that up.
And they also have them in organic. So I just have I got 6 of these containers with them. So I know I will be eating a lot of kiwis the next few days.
That's great. And the other thing we can do too is we can plant, and I have not done that myself either, but I would love to have a lemon tree, apple trees, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, cherries, and apples is what can kind of grow well in my climate. But the lemon tree I'd have to bring in. It's just some things that I've thought about doing too. And until we find like our farm or our property or forever home, I don't know where we're going to end up eventually one day. But, I could maybe grow these in pots, and then until, I'm ready, then I can transplant them somewhere I go, depending, I guess, on what I want to grow. So that's something other people could be looking into doing as well.
Yeah, it is maybe, a lot of people do live in the city and in apartments, so it's not that easy. Even we have an HOA where I live, and you need permission for everything you plant, even though it's our own ground here. It's not, land here, but we know it's not a lease land. But still, they don't want you to just plant anything.
Right.
I did not ask permission for my big, what was it, mango tree, though.
A bird dropped a seed. You don't know how it even appeared.
Oh yeah. It's a big one. I did put the seeds from those mangoes, because I only had 4 mangoes this year. And I talked about it before. They were so huge. They were bigger than my hand, and so sweet and juicy. They were absolutely the most amazing mangoes I ever had in my life. So I look forward to next year.
Yeah, I look forward to having a good mango. As Charlie says, mango is where man goes. Always reach up for your fruit.
Yeah. Well, these were so heavy. They fell off before I even noticed it, and the critters got half, and I got the other half. We shared.
I've been seeing a lot of, like, maybe I'm just kind of on that, I don't know, algorithm or whatever, where I'm seeing where people are saying vegan is the way to go to save the world and stuff like that. And my comment that I always drop in there is, it's not necessarily vegan. You should eat nothing but fruit, and we should have fruit forest because there's lots of debate in there too, where yes, if you are going vegan, you're kind of eating more plant-based, but if you're truly vegan, that requires lots of land to grow, lots of vegetables is what a lot of people think about when they think of when you're a vegetarian or a vegan. And then you're clear cutting the land and you're plowing up crops, and you can kill turtles during that. You can kill all kinds of ground mice and everything. So again, is vegan really a cruelty-free way to kind of go? In a sense, yes, because that's what you're eating, but what even happens during the pulling of the crops and whatnot? So my biggest thing is I always tell people about fruit forest, and how with a fruit forest, it'll just replenish itself constantly. It also provides lots of shelter and a humongous habitat for animals. And it really does help the earth too, where it can kind of keep the coolness of the climate more. It provides tons of oxygen. There's just so many benefits to a fruit forest. So I don't know if you know much about that kind of stuff or not, but I've always been very interested in the thought of a very large fruit forest.
Oh, absolutely, because I don't believe in all these veggies. I barely eat them. And like last night, I had spinach, and my stomach didn't really like it. But that aside, it's like if you look at how natural it is, the fruit can grow without your interference.
Mm-hmm.
It will grow anyway. For the veggies, you have to do quite a bit. It's the same goes for avocados, by the way. You know, if you don't tend to it, and it just doesn't. My avocado tree has never. It's in a pot. It has never had a fruit on it. Maybe because they're not good for me. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned that God interference.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I mean, if you see it, all these rows of all the veggies, and you still go into that commercialized growing it, but in a way you would say it's needed because so many people live in the cities. Now, what I do see here in the United States, there are a lot of parks, there are a lot of options where you can grow things. There are a lot of corporations, people who are willing to share. And even in the cities, I mean, like in Orlando, there was a big thing that a woman got fined because she had veggies in her front yard, and her neighbors with all their grass lawns complained about it because it looked different. And although hers looked very neat, and it wasn't big, you know, and but just enough for her, and whatever else she had, she was, you know, giving it away. She got fined, and one day from the people from the city came up and they pulled everything out because she didn't remove it. And so, and I think we talked about that before, a group of young people got together, and they have been fighting it. So it got to a point that now in Orlando, it is allowed to have front yard vegetable growing. And I would assume, you know, fruit plants is part of it. But where I'm going at is that more and more people doing it. And this group, they actually help you set it up. And then they get a part, and the owner gets a part, and you can exchange, you can share. There is no money involved. And I think that is the way for us to go, because even in the cities, if I look here, like when I look at Lakeland, there are so many houses everywhere. They have yards. They have that possibility. And even, you know, Tampa, whatever city I go here in this area, there are always options. I mean, parks. We live here near a huge park, and there's nothing there. Yeah, some sports things, and it's all land that, you know, could have fruit trees or whatever else you want to grow there. But I think it is up to us to make that work.
Absolutely.
And in the community where I live, it's a very nice community, very quiet. It's considered a retirement community. There is quite a bit of land at the front entrance, and there used to be citrus trees, but because of all the greening disease, they took them out. And now, yeah, you can, you know, golf there or something. And it's like, why not plant trees again? But I think it's up to me to, get people interested in doing that. But it's like, oh, it's too much work, and who wants to do that, and who cares? And we can buy all the fruit we want. So, that is the problem that we are running into. But yeah, it's up to us to go that route.
And I mean, look at Manhattan. See, but it's humongous. I mean, the Central Park.
Yeah.
Think about what if that was a fruit forest?
Yeah.
And even if it's New York, you can grow apples, you grow blueberries, you can grow cherries. And I think that's the other thing people think about. I do see the comment from B Lady in here about hard to grow fruits in South Carolina. South Carolina is a little bit tropical. And Georgia grows amazing Georgia peaches, but we are also forgetting too that we're mono eaters. Like, we should technically only eat one food at a time or one fruit. So we've been on oranges all summer, and we will do like bananas and blueberries as well too, the wild blueberries. But come fall and through the winter, our plan is to move over to apples. And so we'll be mono eating apples. And I know we can get bananas all year round where we live. Pretty much everybody can. The grocery stores do supply them, but so it doesn't have to be like an expansive where we need every fruit that can possibly be grown in those areas. But again, I just named off a few of them that will grow even in cold climates.
Yeah, I mean, there's fruit everywhere. We always we think of our taste buds like, oh yeah, but like, mangoes and pineapples and that kind of stuff. But and in the Netherlands, where I am from, as a kid, in the wild, there were all kinds of berries that we could pick, and we had our apples throughout the winter. And it was rare that we ate an orange or a banana. But we did with the fruit that was available to us, and we didn't think twice about it. So that is possible. It's always possible. We have to think with what can we do, and then just do it, and don't worry about what you cannot do. And otherwise, put a greenhouse up for maybe certain berries. Although I don't even think that. I still have to consider about how natural it is to use greenhouses, because then you grow something that that area was not really meant to be. But then on the other hand, have you heard about earth ships?
Yes.
Yep. Well, I think that is absolutely the most amazing system that is out there, where you can put an earth ship in the middle of the desert, and you can have your tropical greenery, and it's all inside the house. It's it's like an enclosed system almost, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And I was always like, oh my gosh, I would absolutely love to have that. And I know there are a lot in like Arizona, Colorado, and more that area. Not, and I think there is one in Florida, where they started years ago, and then they dropped it, and I think some contractor took it over. I don't know what happened with it. But that is also an amazing system. And that is like a greenhouse where you live in. So there is something to say for it. And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you want to like grow like those the soft leafy greens, such as like butter lettuce or whatnot, even through the winter.
Yeah, B Lady, you say you have problems with birds, raccoons, and deer eating the fruit. The thing is, they only eat the fruit when it's ripe. They do not eat it when it is not ripe. So you just have to be there before they are. And yeah,
or set out bird feeders for them too, and then maybe they'll go to the bird feeder versus.
Yeah, well, if you have bird feeders, it attracts more animals, and so
move them to the other side of the field.
Yeah, my friend has here in the community had some experience with that when she was feeding raccoons. And the raccoons thought she was away for a few days, and they were like, "Hey, where's our food?" And they kind of broke through her screen and into her screen room and messed everything up. Like, yeah, if you start doing that, then they expect it. So I do not feed wildlife.
Mm-hmm.
As much fun as it is, it's like, I'm sorry, Grant, that you have internet problems today. I had them, well, most of the last week, actually. And it's weird what is going on with the internet. And thank you, Sarah, for putting the link up of the Earthships. We will soon have that on the new website also.
Absolutely.
And I spoke with Deborah. She is, I don't know if she's here today. And she wanted me to tell you about, she mentioned something about oranges and animals. She was feeding that to her animals, and she mentioned something about oranges, that when she ate, she did that because you mentioned it, Sarah. When she eats oranges, she feels that more mucus is coming out, and that's especially when she's turning her head. And I thought that's interesting. So, and if when you do those head turns, you actually, it's like you make it flow and it makes it come out.
Yes.
And she only had that on oranges.
The orange juice is very pulling of the mucus in the head, especially.
Yeah, maybe that is why I can think better than I could like years ago.
It is. I feel my sinus all the time, and it's something that's plagued me my whole entire life. And so I imagine it's going to take a very long time. Sinus will even affect my voice and whatnot. I hear my voice now, it sounds like it's getting more high pitched than what it used to be. And so I'm hoping that it's that, and I hate to say phlegm, but hoping that that phlegm and mucus is kind of separating from my voice box area from over the years and whatnot. And I would love for it to come out of my ears and my head, but there's most of the time I feel like 100% like I can barely feel it. But there's certain times when, like I said, we were doing the barn yesterday, really cobwebbing it and dusting it, and boy, it's sure all there now. So I can very much feel it now, but it's still not affecting my voice, though, is the thing. So it's more like it's just kind of in my head still.
Dave and head turns.
Well, I can't ride roller coasters anymore either, like ones that go upside down, because of my sinus in my head. And so I'm very eager for that to go away so I can return back to that.
Yeah, I always loved the roller coasters, but after I had a heart attack, I'm like, I think I stay away. But I loved it. And everywhere where I went, and even in Chicago, or was it close to Chicago, you had this old wood roller coaster. And yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we love the excitement. The thrill.
Yeah, it's like I thought I would do all of that till I die, but it's like I'm not so sure now.
You still have 920 some years to go, so we'll see where it goes.
Oh, okay. I'm just starting. Well, yeah, you could see that. You're just starting living, because we just start to understand everything about life now.
Absolutely.
About God, about nature, about how everything is meant to be. And I'm amazed every day. What you just said about growing the veggies, and it's still in my mind. It's like, why not have fruit forests, instead of all these roads of commercial grown vegetables that barely want to digest in our body and only gives us issues. It's like, yeah.
And why do you think everybody struggles to get their kids to eat vegetables? You ever hear about people saying like, man, I can't get my kid to eat fruit? Yeah, there's some kids that their taste buds have been all messed up nowadays, but before it was like, yeah, they'll eat all the fruit, but I have to sneak the vegetables in. Like, I hear that all the time because we're not supposed to have it. Kids are smarter than we are.
Yeah, same with meat. I mean, you have all these foods, and then you grind them up, and you add meat to it and potatoes, and the kids are like, yuck. And then you have to add salt to make it a little bit better, and they still don't like it. Fruit,
Mm.
they always love the fruit. So
And I have to limit
yeah.
my fruit because my child's getting so much sugar and whatnot. So, which, that was very, that was with sarcasm in case. But the other thing I was going to say too is back in the spring, I had my horse's teeth floated, and it's basically they kind of file them down if they're getting long, but mainly they go in there and they just check them out, and they do that once a year. So I was asking the vet, and I said, does the horse ever get cavities or anything like that? And he said, no, because they don't eat meat. Like, those were his words. This is a doctor. It is a vet,
Wow.
but it is a
Yeah.
doctor. And then I was thinking, because my brain likes to do that, or maybe I should say I was wondering, and horses eat sweet feed, they eat carrots, they like peppermints, they like, they'll even eat fruit as well too. So what I'm getting at is sweet feed is very much sugar. So, but didn't the dentist say that sugar destroys our teeth, and that's why we get the cavities as well too, is we got to stay away from that candy and all that sweet stuff, right? Well, then why does the horse still not get the cavity then? And so that's where my brain was starting to wonder was, so it is the meat. It's the acidity that we have in our mouth that was causing the teeth to decay. Because if it wasn't.
Yeah, but it's not just the meat. It is the proteins in general and fats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's where my mind was wandering the other day after remembering what the veterinarian had told me. And so I think next time he comes out, I'm going to have another discussion with him similar to that and see what he says.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing about all of this is it's just a experience that we all get to have here. And it depends on how you want to have this experience. When I'm at a birthday party and I see a child picking the fruit off of the cake instead of eating the cake, it's like, see, there's another little thing that just, I love looking for those things. Or I catch little bits and pieces, like when the vet just told me that. And it's a way that I can kind of like start putting the puzzle together of the lies that we've been told. And it's a way of just kind of digging through it all to really find the truth. And I enjoy that.
Yeah, but there is another connection to what you're saying about the teeth. And I have this beautiful chart, and I think I'll grab it. I think we talked about that before last week too, and I have sent it to a few people. But why do we get cavities? I think it is because, first of all, our body is acidic. Then we have the weak spots in our body. And for me, it was with the gallbladder. And that was, that was teeth number 11 here. Incisors, was it? Yeah, incisor. And, oh no, they call these, oh my God, I have never seen these words. Cuspids? Cuspids, doesn't matter. One of my teeth. And
cuspids.
Oh, okay. Say that again. Cuspids?
Yeah, I think cuspid.
Okay. So and so that was I had really had problems with that tooth for a long time. And then it seemed like it was always infected. There was nothing that the dentist couldn't do anymore. But then I had gallbladder issues right after I gave birth to my daughter. I was 19 years old, and it started at 20. They took the gallbladder out. I still lived for almost 10 years with a really, really bad tooth that was actually getting black and had to be removed. That was the gallbladder area. So what I'm saying is, if you have a child and it has a cavity, look at what it connects with. What part of the body is it? Is it the thyroid? Is it the colon? Is it the lungs, the spleen, the heart? Our teeth indicate exactly where the problem in our body is. But then we say, yeah, okay, but if it isn't it the food that is doing it? Yeah, but it is the food that also makes our body acidic.
Mm-hmm.
So here is like, the circle is round. It's like it all connects.
It does.
And I do see that as we have given this to yeah, as a roadmap. It's like you have a cavity here. Okay, that connects to there. Oh my gosh, yeah, I really need to eat better, you know? And it's not like, oh, I have a cavity now, I cannot eat any sweets anymore. And in sweets, people talk about sweets, and then it's like if it is a chocolate, a bonbon or candy or sweet fruit, but it's not the same. It's not all sweets. Like it's not the same thing. Fruit is fruit, and candy to me are the sweets, and the sugar in your coffee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have a friend who has really bad teeth, and he is, oh my God, he goes to the dentist all the time, and he works really hard on it. And he had bad teeth since he was a young person, and he is in his 70s now. And he is when he drinks coffee, 1/3 of the cup is sugar.
Yeah.
Plus, he drinks about half a gallon to a gallon of milk in a day.
Mm.
So, and he's always coughing and always has problems with swallowing, and there's a lot of mucus stuck. But in all these years, I've known him for more than 17 years. I have not been able to turn that around.
Yes, I remember you talking about him before too. And my aunt drinks milk every single meal, and strong bones and everything. But when she was examined, her bones are gray, and she has terrible osteoporosis, and she has degenerative disease, where I believe her cornea is peeling away from her eye or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, keep on that milk.
Yeah, and it's they don't want to believe it. And so, and he even had, yeah, well, maybe that's the worst part. He has medical training.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So
I see some really good stuff in the comments here. Grant's daughter has started to eat more fruit since he's been talking to her about this. Well, fruit and vegetables lately. That's wonderful to hear. Absolutely. And Yvonne's husband is planting her orange tree finally. That's awesome.
yeah, I was going to plant an orange tree, and I said, how many oranges will I have next year? And he said, well, maybe 5 or 6. And I was like, forget about it. I need a dozen a day.
5 or 6 is only like 8 ounces. I need more.
Yeah.
So then
I haven't done it, which is
trees.
actually crazy, because the next year you have more, and the year after there is more. But I was like, well, maybe I'm only going to stay here for 5 more years, and it's like it needs to be in the ground and not in a pot, because I have bananas in a pot. The
Mhm.
tree looks beautiful, but I have no bananas. I have a
Yeah.
banana tree, but no bananas.
Ugh. Oh my gosh. B Lady had also said too that everything bagel seasoning is really good, but it has poppy seeds, sesame seeds, dried garlic, dried onion, and salt. And I imagine that it's not the good salt. And the garlic is an herb that we have discussed before, and garlic's in everything, which, since it is an herb, we should only have it every, no more than 90 days at a time if you're taking it for anything like that. Is that true?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I was reading the question and say that again.
No problem. The everything seasoning, the bagel, everything seasoning thing,
Yeah.
has poppy seeds, sesame seeds, garlic, onion, and salt in it. And I was just saying that the salt is definitely probably not the good salt that you want to have in the first place. If you have any salt, this is probably just regular table salt that they add to
and
it.
even the sea salt, it's like, there are a lot of articles about how toxic it is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want the garlic, we don't want the onion, we don't want the seeds. It's like seeds. I have a strong feeling seeds are for birds. We do want the fruit with the seeds, but doesn't mean that we have to eat the seeds.
No.
I mean, they should go in the soil, that is why they are for birds. It's, yeah.
And the garlic,
and you don't want the bagels.
yeah.
Here we go.
And the garlic, though, the garlic is an herb, and garlic is in everything. So I feel like it's overused, and any herb should only be taken for up to 90 days. Is that correct?
But well, yeah, but is a garlic an herb?
right?
It's very mucus forming. It's the same with the onions. I hear Dr. Morse say, well, if you have to eat the onions, the green onions, then only take the green part of it, because in the white part, that is actually what makes your eyes tear also. And that's the part that has the what is it, sulfur in it.
Yeah.
You don't want that in your body.
Well, think
But
about what it does even if you're around an onion or if you're around a raw garlic, your
yeah,
body's
and then
already
I
reacting.
know, and then we think it's healthy, it's like, no, it's not. But is it tasty? Well, the original onions, because in the Netherlands, I only knew of one onion, and that was the regular yellow onion. I come to the United States, and they have 5, 6 different type of onions.
Mhm. Yep.
The sweet ones that are actually, I kind of raw, I kind of like them, and they don't make your eyes tear. So it's a hybrid. They've done something to it.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's
And
it's
again,
like,
like what can we are we able to tolerate it because we have suppressed so much in our body? But like, could you tolerate it now?
yeah, but we can tolerate a lot of things. The body is like adjust, and it's but at that point it needs all its energy to digest it, to get it out of the body again. And we think that we are tolerating it. Not really.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I could now, if I eat certain things, my stomach hurts. I recently had some wild rice, and think, well, that shouldn't be too bad, is it? No, my body said nope, and it wasn't enjoyable. Let's say it that way.
Yeah. I've always, every time we've gone out to eat or just always, I would always have upset stomach whenever we would leave. And it would be to the point to where we had to leave immediately. And if there was even certain places I would go to, I'd say, okay, well, if I'm going to eat here, where are we going after? Like I would have to plan so that way I could make sure I was near a bathroom afterwards. And yet I would still eat there. Like, why would I not listen to? And I mean, I would get a salad, or I would the many, I mean, like probably like way over a decade ago, I would get chicken fingers. And so that would be like the worst thing I would eat would be chicken fingers and maybe some fries and a salad. I mean, so it wasn't like eating like multiple different things, but even just the fat, even after I was done with the chicken fingers, the fat from that place would just still upset me so much but I would still go and eat there.
Yeah, but eventually you stop doing that. That was for me with the avocados. I had a year and a half that I had a really hard time staying away for the avocados, and finally my body said yuck.
Mhm.
So I'm not eating them anymore.
I
It,
think that's why I can't eat avocados because of the fat content. It just
yeah,
hurts me.
yeah. I came across something. I don't know if you guys know the website Grapegate. A lot of my information comes from Grapegate. The guy who set this up, I think his name is I'm not sure. I think his name is Nick, and he works with Dr. Morse. I think he also works on a new website that Dr. Morse has, which is actually drmorse morse.tv, because certain videos that Dr. Morse makes don't make it out on YouTube. So they are on his own server right now. So I would definitely check that out. drmorse.tv. Now on Grapegate, I was reading an article about cancer. There is a search option there, so you can type things in and you get a whole bunch of articles. He made this site, maybe 8 years ago, 6 to 10 years ago. And he had a section in there that I had, or a link in there I had never heard about. And this was thymus thumping. You ever heard about that?
Timeless thumping or
The thymus thump.
Like
Uh,
on your your
on
thyroid
your
gland?
on your timers. Yeah, I have
Yes.
an 1.5 minute video about it. Had you heard about it?
Yes, I have.
Oh, I didn't. That was totally new to me. And he writes here how to do the thymus thumb. This is the easiest energy medicine tool to learn and use. Think of the thymus thumb as a spiritual first aid. Like many energy medicine tools, it is deceptively simple to do, but don't let this put you off. It is profoundly affecting in resetting your acupuncture system if you have had any kind of a shock. It can also stimulate your immune system if you are ill. I will give you the link because I thought that was interesting. I didn't know about it. So
Yeah, I've done that. And you're supposed to use, I think, your middle finger and your ring finger. No, that's the one, like if you like thump underneath your eye, like on that bone there, you use your middle finger and your ring finger. And then the thymus thumping, I think it's almost like the same almost, but I think you can
it's
use a
on
little bit more
your,
pressure.
well, it's actually just above your breast
Yes.
where the thymus is at, where you feel the bones in the middle.
Hmm.
That is where, and he mentioned to do that when you have any trauma and stress, and it was like, oh my God, this is good to know. So I put the link in there.
Yes. The other thing while we're talking about the links that we're dropping here in the chat too, when we go to save the video, we need to make sure we save the chat so people can still see it afterwards as well too.
Yeah,
So
it's been set that way. So I think
okay,
I always keep it as saving the chat, so it should be there.
good. Yeah, for sure. We need to definitely look into that. I've done that before, and I mean, maybe I didn't do it long enough, or maybe I wasn't far enough along on my process of detox that I felt the effects of it, so I didn't continue.
Possibly. Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, I would definitely be interested in that. I still will do the tapping under my eyes to try to help loosen any of my stagnated lymph in my head, to say.
Yeah, and I also what is that called? That tapping? Because I've done that a lot. What do you call that tapping?
That I don't know.
Oh, okay. Because there is it has a name. I always get these emails, and I have done it. I have all the books about it, and that was going back like 10 years ago.
Mhm.
It is kind of an energy healing.
Okay.
The guy who sends me the tapping solution, it comes from Nick Ortner,
Mm-hmm.
Ortner, and it's very interesting, and it's also a part of healing. This is definitely something that I'm going to put on Garden of Eden too. It's really easy to do, and it's a few minutes a day that you do that tapping to heal.
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, and what I was going to mention, I came across a series of Dr. Morse about cancer. It's a seven series. It's every video is only 14 minutes long, and I had just put that on my website, and then everything crashed, so it's not available right now. But I will be working more on my website, Fun with Detox. I like that name, funwithdetox.com, but it's not working now, so don't go there. It's messed up. I had to disable all the plugins there. So it's now a messed up site.
Okay.
Tells me it has a critical error.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's like you either have they call that the black screen of death on your computer, or you have the critical error on your website. But it's it may take me a little time to fix it, and but it can be done. So I'm not worrying about it.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing Deborah mentioned yesterday, and I want to get that link out, but she hasn't sent it to me yet, I think. No. is about, what was it called? Permaculture. She has chickens. She loves chickens.
Mm.
And she doesn't eat the eggs anymore, not after not after we talked quite a while ago, but she loves her chickens. And so she gives the eggs away, I think. But she was looking more into permaculture, so not mowing, the grass anymore, and let the chickens do their work.
Mhm.
Well, chickens they are a big part of permaculture.
They are.
And oh my gosh, I would love to dig in that more. But she mentioned a website about permaculture, and she said it is so beautiful and so relaxing. She just goes there for the relaxing benefit of how the people are who teaching the stuff on the website. So as soon as I have that, I will share it.
Awesome.
Because this
Yeah,
is
I would be interested in that as well.
I'm sorry?
I would be interested in that as well, and I'm sure a lot of people too.
Yeah. I have a lot of information on the Freak Sense website.
Mm-hmm.
So about permaculture, because I did set up a group for that.
Good. I will look.
And all these groups with that same information, they will all be available on Garden of Eden too, because that just needs to be there. It is part of how nature should be, and not what we made out of it.
Mm-hmm. And I'm on Facebook too. I don't know if you actually saw that. I finally figured it out, and so I just dropped my connection to Facebook in there, and I'm gonna also put yours in there too in the chat for people. So now I can actually see the stuff that you post on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah, it's not a whole lot, but it is where my heart is in, and that can be animals or nature or some memes that should make people think, I hope.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is there's a lot to say about Facebook, and it's all bad, but I have to say I do enjoy it, and there are not that many connections, but yeah.
Well, it's a platform that we can all join on, the same as with YouTube and whatnot. It just depends on what you do with it. The same thing with your phone. Your phone can rule your whole entire life, where you just can't live without it. Or you could use it to see that person you haven't seen in forever, make that connection with them, or spread truth like we've been doing. They're all tools for us, and it depends on which way you want to use that tool. It's the same as that reference in the Bible where 666.
Yeah.
You want to be the beast or you want to be the man. It's your decision on how you use these tools. And I mean, I don't have Facebook loaded on my phone, but it's on my computer. I go to the website. So there's all those theories about stuff like that. But I am who I am, and I know I don't show my face, but I do have reasons for that, whether it be my job or I still have a child in school, things like that. But there's my voice, and here's my truth that I'm speaking, and to me, that's all that matters.
I think your voice tells us more than your face.
Absolutely.
It is in the face that it is in the voice that we can hear people lying, and we can hear love.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, voice is very important.
It is. And Grant said, by the way, Toni and Sarah, thank you for everything you all do for us. Well, Grant, we love what we do, and we love speaking with every one of you. And I think we're both very excited about this journey, and because of all of you, it's allowed our journey to go even farther. So we're very grateful for all of you, and we're grateful for our chats on Thursday.
Yeah, we keep learning more. It's every time something else comes in front of us and we can talk about it, and we realize more of the beauty that is out there. Yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff going on, And I hear that from people, too. And sometimes because I am on Facebook and I see the things, or I have friends who send me messages and, all the BS going on. And I may check it out and it's like, yeah, I know it's out there, but and maybe I'm like, it's not that I want to put my head in the sand like it doesn't exist, but on the other hand, it's like I'm not a part of that. I'm a part of something that is much bigger, much more beautiful, much more, bigger. How else can I say it? You have probably the words for it, Sarah.
Well, actually, I do. We are the salt of the earth. And as Jesus said, salt preserves meat from corruption. It slows its decay. And he says, I want my followers to be a people who hold back the evil over the world. Salt also enhances the flavor of things. I want my followers to renew the world and be part of its redemption. Salt can also be mixed with honey and rubbed on the skin for maladies. I want my people to participate in the healing of the world, not its destruction. And that was a quote from The Chosen, season 2, episode 8, timestamp 2520. And I love when I hear those things because that is exactly what it means. And the reason I take these notes like this is because I never understood the Bible. And it wasn't until Charlie's teachings and until this show and everything that I'm finally feel like those dead words on the page are actually coming alive to me. And that is why when I hear these things, I do document them and I want to keep them, because I hope that what I just learned will then spark something in somebody else too, or allow them to now understand the Bible as well too, because it never, ever spoke to me until about 2 years ago. So, and now it is definitely alive in my life. And those words on the page are very much alive for me.
Yeah, and you can feel it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. A lot of those. But everybody should definitely watch that show, The Chosen. It's an app. It's free for everybody. And it basically follows exactly what Charlie's been teaching us this whole entire time. And they're getting ready to come out with season 3. And it is free to everyone. You can make donations to it, but they fully work off of donations to create this amazing show.
Yeah, you may want to post the link of The Chosen.
Yeah, I think I will. Let me find it. I know I sent it to you just the other day.
Oh, you sent it to me. Yes, you did.
Yes. Did that help?
I haven't looked.
Your client.
Oh, yes, I sent it to her too. I haven't heard back.
Yeah.
Which is a little worrisome.
Mm-hmm.
But, I have to let her, I can only give her the tools. I cannot, hold her hand, and we'll just try it.
Yeah. Then that's something that's very hard. I mean, whether it be, like a patient client type thing, or a family member or a friend or whatnot, the only thing we can do is we can also give them the tools, and it's completely up to them. We have to remember that this is their journey, and even though it's hard for us to stand back and watch, it is not our journey. It's completely up to them, and that's why God and Jesus gave us free will. It's up to us.
Yeah, but for the people standing back, it's not the easiest.
It sure is not.
I found the link of The Chosen, and I will put it right here.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to share the app and it wasn't allowing me to. But yeah, perfect. Grant says, I think you have to sign up for season 3. I haven't looked into season 3 yet because I love to binge watch when I actually get to watch them. So I was going to wait for all the episodes to come out first, but I'll definitely look into that. Thank you. That's right, Sue. The Bible is not a literal book. It is just allegories and parables. And a lot of the stories of the Bible have been hidden from us as well, too. It'll be amazing when we can finally get access to all of those. And the parts where they especially took out what Jesus's diet was And that is the one part I do like when we're watching The Chosen. I watch for that as well. What are they eating when they sit down? And so far, the only stuff I'm really seeing is bread. But as we all know, bread is manna, which is pure thought from God. Mana, is it mana or manna? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Manna.
Katie just came on. Welcome, Katie. There's it super late. Yeah, so very interesting, and everything really does tie together. And even if we're just like talking the way that we're talking, this might be a way that it is still like a health Q&A. Of course, if anyone has any questions, please join us or drop it in the chat. But at the same time, our health is also our mental health too, and our spiritual health. So we're maybe during these kinds of chats, we're not specifically talking about, like this ailment or this or that, but altogether it could just be, these could be our mental health shows or something like that as well too, because it all really does tie together.
It's the same as, and it's all about life truths, and then you come automatically to the health part. It's all here we go with a difficult word for a Dutch girl. All encompassing, something like that.
Yep. That's good enough. Yeah.
Oh, does your skin get thinner with age? No, it shouldn't. That means that your body is still acidic, and I don't see it with my skin at all, that it gets thinner, and I don't know why, because I know I'm acidic, so it will be different for everybody. I wonder if it has to do with dehydration. And even though people are on all fruit, I see still so many people who are dehydrated. And I hear things like, yeah, I don't like water, I can't drink water. And it's like, we need to get those toxins out. And then we come back to how long should it take? I'm fine if it takes me 10 years. I don't care. It's like I keep moving forward. Go backward sometimes, but I keep moving forward because that is the only way. And I think with, oh my God, yes, because I live in a retirement community, and I see the people, and I always think that they are older.
Mm-hmm.
They're not older than I am, so not that much anyway. It keeps being funny, Sarah. It's like, really, when I think of my age, it's like, it's so ridiculous, that number. So ridiculous. But anyway, it's I do see, people go out in the sun, and I see that they have a very wrinkly, very thin skin. It's just terribly dehydrated.
Mm-hmm. I always say their hide has been tanned, like they look very leather-like as well too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But they still keep doing it. I mean, one of my friends here, she passed away, 10 years ago. And she was always out at the pool in the chlorinated water, and every day, and out in the sun. And okay, but she made it until in her 80s. So
it's amazing how long our body will sustain, even with all of the toxins and whatnot we put in it, and all the junk food as well too.
And maybe, you know what, I'm just thinking about that, because the sun is life. And maybe because she was so much in the sun, now it messed up her skin too, because she was so dehydrated. But on the other hand, maybe it kept her living too.
Very much. Yeah. Very much so.
And when we come to the chlorinated pools, yeah, but I on my Facebook profile, I posted something about natural pools. Mm-hmm. And if you want to find me on Facebook, it is just my name, Toni Weel, ToniWeel. I do have 2 profiles. Facebook didn't like that, but once the last year, they blocked my my original profile. I set up another one so I could at least see things and do things, and in my groups. So it is the one that has picture that is just my face. The other ones is a picture with another person and a cigar guitar. What is it? Cigar box guitar or something that I had won in I don't know if it was a contest, but I won a cigar box guitar. So I'm on a picture with that. That is not my regular profile. That is a dormant profile. So you need the one that has that kind of black and white picture in it. And I post sometimes it's very interesting things. And I thought that the natural pools, and whoever has a pool or can have a pool, that would be my pool. It's like no chlorine. You should be able to have clear water without any chemicals. And we need the right plants for, air. I don't know, maybe you even need fish in there.
There could be. I've seen a few of them that way too, where they're putting all kinds of plants in there to help keep the water clear, but they are specific. I haven't looked into it much, but I mean, we have a saltwater pool, and then I think maybe the next one would be a natural pool, like you were saying. I will say I will not get into the pond or the lake. I always have a fear of those, but we've talked about that too, where I'm so afraid that a snake or a fish are going to swim by me or something.
The fish won't eat you. Now, Katie meant something about she was going to feed a baby, babysitting strawberries, and the mom said that they are a common allergy food. Well, that depends. My sister was allergic to strawberries. I wasn't, but she was allergic to a lot of things. And it has to do with how acidic your body is. Not every kid is allergic to strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
So as it being a common allergy food, I don't know, how old is the baby?
Yeah. And I do know too that some allergens come from when your liver is already clogged. Is that true? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know if it's specifically to the liver. I always hear Dr. Morse say it always has to do with the kidney and the lymph system.
Mm-hmm.
So because don't forget that the whole allopathic medication stuff didn't even know about how important the lymph system is and what it is actually for.
Mm-hmm.
So
on that too, before we move on to Grant's question or statement, is that I feel like we discussed too, are strawberries actually like a native plant?
There are wild strawberries.
Yes.
So I think they have been made from that, but will they grow without us? I mean, I've had strawberries in my yard in the Netherlands, and at some point they were just overgrown. They didn't come up anymore.
Yeah.
They should come up every year. It's not that you have to replant them every year, but they didn't. And what I see here in the area, I live near Plant City, which is the strawberry capital of the world. And you can see acres and acres and acres of rows and rows of strawberry plants. They plant them every year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Strawberries that point up are like the fake strawberries, and strawberries that point down are the true strawberries. And so that's how you can tell if you actually have real wild strawberries or not. From what I've read, but I have not confirmed this with myself or anything like that, you can eat both of them. And we've always been told that don't eat the wild strawberries, they're poisonous to us. So I looked into it. I didn't test any this year because all the ones that grow around us point up. So I've been on the hunt for some ones that point down. But what I was told too by a doctor when my son was young was you could take the strawberry and rub it on their wrist and see if they get any kind of rash or outbreak to it. There are certain foods too where I'll still rub them on my mouth first before, if I get a tingly feeling, then, but I'm sensitive to certain things. I've yet to be sensitive to any kind of fruit. But like I'll still do that out of habit too, or you can rub it like on their chin or on the side of their cheek. But if you have a great concern, I would start farthest away from their mouth or any breathing area and do it on their wrist.
Yeah, because what you mentioned about that it's like burns in your mouth, I cannot eat apples or any fruit that is not washed very thoroughly, and that even goes for organic fruits, because it burns in my mouth, and others may not have that. But I'm very sensitive to the pesticides or any chemicals on it.
Absolutely.
So we don't have to, and we know that strawberries are on the dirty dozen list.
Mhm.
So, they have chemicals on them. So you have to be really, really careful with it. But the organic ones, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Anything. Well, I still have to wash them thoroughly.
Yeah.
With strawberries, it's just rinsing off the sand and not worry about it. And in organic, they're fine. When you mentioned about, that you get a tingling or a stinging in your mouth or even on your skin, that can also be the chemicals.
Okay.
So be
Good to
be
know.
aware of that. And also, if you are allergic to something, you were allergic to your child or allergic, not to your child, as a child. Well, I have been allergic to my child sometimes.
Oh, funny.
Oh gosh, but is that allergies can change, and when you get healthier, your allergies disappear.
Yes.
There is, I'm officially, when I was 20 years old and I had asthmatic bronchitis, I don't know what they call it here, and I was tested and I was officially allergic for exhaust fumes and cigarette smokes. Well,
Mhm.
that's still there, but it's unhealthy. Your body doesn't want to inhale that. So yeah, of course, you have a reaction to that, and my reaction to it was stronger than others.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I moved out of the city, which I did, and I actually lived in a it's considered a city, but it was like, small town. And I stopped smoking. Well, I stopped smoking when I had that asthmatic bronchitis and pneumonia right after. Never smoked again, and always stayed away. I didn't go to bars. I didn't go to anything where there was smoking, and I was, never had a problem again.
Mhm.
But so those are the kind of allergies that yeah, they're just healthy. They tell you it's like stay away from that junk. But with food and food allergies, they can change. So I don't want people to keep in their mind, oh yeah, I'm allergic for that and I can never eat that. That's not the case.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it was like, okay, and Katie and Grant had a question about sunbathe 8 to 10 hours a day when he was younger at the beach. Now a lot of moles and red spots. Moles have actually to do with your pancreas. So your pancreas could be on the weak side. So that would be something to work on. And we actually have a formula that helped that strengthens your pancreas a little bit more.
Are moles also too, like because they can just fall off of you too. So aren't they like the fungus in your body as well, or?
Yeah, it's like and I haven't tried that. I know of somebody who tried the parasite M on
Mhm.
moles, and I didn't look into it further. But we always have to work about getting the mold and fungus and candida out of our body. I mean, that's part of your healing. And the herbs that Dr. Morse put together in his parasite M works great for that. But usually we only take something for a few months, but with the parasite M, he said, oh, you may even need it to use it for a whole year.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I have a mole. It's not even big, but I've been told it's a mole. But what I find very funny is my dad, my brother, myself, and both my niece and nephew have the exact same mole. And
that's funny.
like same location and everything. And so that's very, I don't know what that means.
Oh, I don't know. It's like, sometimes I have a brown spot. It's like a centimeter. Don't ask me how much it is in inches. It's about a centimeter around in diameter. I have it on my underarm on the soft side, and it's always been there. It's I don't know. I probably was born with it. It's like it doesn't grow, it doesn't do anything. It's just a brown spot, like a huge freckle.
Yeah. Well, they say go ahead and get it removed. And I said, no. I want to see it fall off.
Well, that
So
is, I have seen it with my husband. He has kind of growths on his face, and they did look like moles and were growing, and they looked odd. And one they took off, and it was like, well, it's not cancer. And with all the fruit he has been eating, he doesn't have it anymore. It's all gone. But he has a few on his arm and on his back, and there were more on his back, and they're just gone. And
that's
I
awesome.
think I once mentioned that I had oh, now you get an intimate question, Grant. Where is your mole located?
It's on my arm. Just my arm.
Yeah, but I had what do you call these warts on my hands, and it was like they appeared overnight, and a year later they disappeared overnight, and that is such an weird thing to me, that they come out of nowhere and they just disappear. I didn't do anything to it, didn't put anything on it, but no, it wasn't fun. You have them all over your fingers. I was about 12 years old, definitely getting into, the teenage years, definitely not something that you want to show around.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden they were gone from one day to the next. I mean, what
Did you
kind of
happen to go in
miracle is
the
that?
ocean? Did you go in the ocean?
No, no.
Because I had that too when I was a young kid in my hand. And after our Florida trip, spending the whole week in the ocean, I came home and they weren't there anymore.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I know. So I was like, you have warts, get in the ocean.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Katie has another question. Looking for someone to do dry brushing. I think you don't want to do that dry brushing. How do I look this person up in the phone book? That's not there. That is not there. And that is something that you can do on your own. You don't need any other person to do that. And I would say that 99% of the people who know about dry brushing do not know about doing it the correct way. And I actually have a video about it on my channel. Where can I find that really fast? Let me see. You talk, I'll look, because I can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say you mainly just do I do the dry brushing on myself, and I just use a dry washcloth, but I do have more like stiff kind of washcloths. And I like to do it before I get in the shower or whatnot, and just watch the videos on it, and I just do it with myself. The one, maybe you might be getting confused about looking someone up to do it, but that's the lymphatic massage. And if that's what you're thinking about, then yes, you definitely need to find a person who is good at doing that. In my opinion, though, I think you should definitely make sure your kidneys are filtering properly. So that way, when you get that lymphatic massage, then, any toxins that might be wanting to come out have a way to come out.
Very, very true. There are lymphatic massage options, and they have been specifically trained for that. And they have been trained wrong, because it can cause you a lot of problems. And that is, yeah, it's so important, Sarah, that you mentioned that your kidneys have to be filtering, and they have to do it the correct way. So it is, I will find people who do it the correct way. And there are even, my gosh, how do we really find that in a certain location? People who know to do lymph massages. Anyway, this is the one about dry brushing, and that moves your lymph.
Mm-hmm. And you have to drink lots of water after these massages, or even any massage as well.
Yeah.
You gotta
Okay, we went, of course, again, way over the hour.
Yes.
As usual, but that's okay. I have a client coming up, so I gotta go anyway.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure again, and thank you, Sarah, so much.
Thank you. We appreciate everyone, and we're very grateful for you all on this journey with us.
Thanks everyone for being here, and for the ones who listen afterwards. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, we always look forward to it. I never have a script, because that is not working for me. And whenever I get stuck, Sarah always knows what to say.
And vice versa. Yeah, we just roll with it. But
So
thank
I
you
love
all
you.
so
I
much.
love you,
Love
girl.
you
I love
all.
you all. And thank you so much for being here. Until the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.